everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing a bookshelf tour. I don't think I've ever done this on my channel. I have done some reorganizing videos on my channel, but never an in-depth bookshelf tour. So I'm really excited. Let's hop on into it. So here's an overview of my bookshelf. I can't remember where I got these, but I will put the name on the screen of the store where we got them from because I can't remember. I wanted tall ones rather than wide ones because I have previously had wide bookshelves and I wanted the taller ones to fit in this corner better. I will start over at these prints. I got these prints off of the Literary Loft. This one is for Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and this one is Happy Place by Emily Henry. These are a newer edition. I just needed something in this space. I love that it added some color and just something to spice up this section, but it's book related. I also have my book cart in this corner. These are all of the books that I have not read, so this is my physical TBR over here, so we're gonna move her out of the way for now, but this is where she lands normally. I'm gonna start at this top left shelf. This is like my young adult middle grade shelf. Over here on the left, we have all my Jenny Han books. I really like the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. I need to reread the Summer I Turned Pretty series because it wasn't my favorite when I initially read it, but I need to try again. And we're coming up on the summertime, so that'll be perfect to read. Then we have all my Jennifer Lynn Barnes books. The Inheritance Game is one of my favorite series. The Brothers Hawthorne, which is like a little spin-off, and then the Natural series. I'm missing the fourth book because it's on my TBR card. Then we have my nostalgic books. I have some Joan Bower books is how I always pronounce them. I hope someone else understands the love I have for these books. Brings me back to childhood. I loved Close to Famous. I feel like I had to read this for school one year and I loved it. Or it was one of my options to read. I just love it. These are my nostalgic books. And over here, we have the restart of my Canterwood Crest collection. I'm still so angry with myself about these books. This is a phenomenal series about a boarding school. I've never watched Gossip Girl, but in my mind, this is like Gossip Girl, but make it at a boarding school with all these athletes and make it middle school / high school. The main characters are athletes on the equestrian team. There's just so much that goes on and so much horse talk, which I don't ride horses, but I like reading about horses and watching horse movies, which is just really strange, but I had the full series. There are so many books in this series. And when we moved here, which was, I don't even know, 8 years ago, I thought, you know, I don't need to keep all of these books. Why am I keeping them? I'm not gonna reread them all. And now I regret it. So I've restarted the collection. I've gotten a few books to add to the collection every holiday. That's the start or the restart of that collection. The next shelf is the mystery shelf. I tried to put authors together and also just the tallest books on the left, and then we go to shortest. Even though I do have my Karen McManus books separated, I have the Cousins and One of Us is Lying because I want all my hardbacks towards the left, but I really like One of Us is Lying and the Cousins. And I have my Holly Jackson books together. She has a new release this month, which I really want to read soon. One of my favorite books that normally resides on the shelf is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. My cousin actually has it to read right now, so I hope she really enjoys it. But I have The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides over here, and Finley Donovan is Killing It. Such a good book. So funny, such a good mystery comedy. Okay, now we'll move down a shelf. This is my Christian suspense shelf. Christian suspense is a genre of crime novels, but they always have an aspect of God talked about in them, and there's no spice or bad language, but the crimes are still really hardcore. I really enjoy these. I like a bunch of crime TV shows, and I feel like that's what I'm reading when I read these books. I do have authors together. I have all of my D. Henderson books. Literally so many of them. They're so good. Oops. Well, on that note that this fell off, I have these Bible verses that my friend gave me. They're so cute. They're very aesthetic, and I just like to keep them on that shelf because that's the Christian suspense shelf, but I also just love these. Like, they're so cute. Anyway, so those cards reside right there. Then I have my Terry Blackstock shrine, pretty much. Terry Blackstock and D. Henderson are my two favorite Christian suspense authors. These are the types of books that got me back into reading a while ago, and now I'm starting to actually get back into them more, and I'm really loving them. I just finished the O'Malley series by D. Henderson in a recent video, actually. All right, let's move down to the prettiest shelf, probably. This is the romance shelf. That's why it's very colorful and bright. I have all my bookmarks in this love mug. I felt like it was very fitting to put on the romance shelf. Kind of like I do with all my shelves, I like to have the hardbacks on the far left because they're the biggest. I have my Catherine Sinner books together, and then my Emily Henry books, and then just some miscellaneous ones. Here's some Lynn Painter books. And then over here I have authors together, kind of. Probably need to go through these again, but on the bottom I have my K.L. Walter books, The Summer of Broken Rules, which is one of my favorite romance books, the Ashley Poston books, I love The 7-Year Slip, Anna and the French Kiss is just by itself. Let's just say that it's a spacer between all my Sarah Adams books. Oh wait, this is not a Sarah Adams book. Okay, there we go. All my Sarah Adams books. I have loved the majority of the books I've read by her. They're just really cheesy and really cute and just really easy to fly through. I kind of want to move this shelf up so you can see it when you walk in the room better. So I might reorganize my shelf soon because I just love how bright this shelf is. This bottom shelf is filled with my nonfiction books. I have 2 copies of Everybody Always because I love Bob Goff, and I don't really know how I ended up with 2 copies, but I'm not mad about it. I have a couple nonfiction medical books that I really like. I've seen the interviews about a neurosurgeon and how doctors think is about a bunch of different specialties. Really, really like this book. I have the Cole and Savannah book that I read a while ago, and then I just read Gentle and Lowly recently. Such a good book. And then this might be one of my favorite books I own, is my Cookie Lover recipe book. So good. I just recently made some copycat. Oh, the bookmark is in it. I made these, the chocolate cake cookies. So good. And one more thing is this beautiful book of James. Alabaster is the company that makes these, and it's books of the Bible, but in this really aesthetic way. One day when I have my own home, I want to put this on the coffee table. James is my favorite book of the Bible. It's just so practical, and it's such an aesthetic book. Now we can move on to the other full shelf. I have my Marissa Meyer books on the top. I love the Lunar Chronicles series, and when I read the Renegades trilogy, which is on my TBR cart, I'll put that next to it, and then we just have a plant to fill the open space. Then I have my fantasy shelf. Over here, we have the typical dystopian books. We have the Divergent series, which phenomenal. I read that really late in life. Not late in life, but late compared to other people. I read this last year and it was so good. Then we have the Hunger Games on the bottom. And then we have some series together. My 2 favorite books of all time. We have Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. We have the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and then when I read the Six of Crows duology, that will be added to the shelf. I have a lot of fantasy books on my TBR cart because I get through them slower because it takes more brain power. I have the Selection series, so good. And then I have Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I didn't love this book, but I feel like it could be a good book to recommend to people who would like this type of book. So I'm going to keep it in my library to loan out, and the cover is so pretty. This is just a random shelf. This shelf houses my Twilight books, and then I have some extra books in the series that I need to read. That's on the TBR. And then I have the 3rd book in the Harry Potter series. I have read the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd one, but I don't have the 1st and 2nd in a physical copy because they are on Kindle Unlimited. And then this wonderful sign that I just love. It makes so much sense. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Oh, and then these are some rocks that I got in Hawaii, and it just reminds me I want to go back to Hawaii. This next shelf, in my mind, is general fiction, and then we have some classics over here. Some of my favorites. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yes, there is romance in it, but I kind of in my mind classify it as just general fiction. Also, another one of my favorites is The Measure. So good, makes you think a lot. Then I have these beautiful copies of some classics. It says The Wizard of Oz, and it has interactive things on the inside. I think this will be very fun in the future when I am an aunt and I can read these to my nieces and nephews and my kids one day. I have The Little Mermaid in this really pretty copy as well. And then I have really pretty copies of some more books, but these are smaller. This is Peter Pan, A Christmas Carol, and Alice in Wonderland. And then one of my favorite books of all time is To Kill a Mockingbird. This is my really beat up copy. And then we have Fahrenheit 451 and This Present Darkness. And then this is my book stamp. I actually have 2 because I lost one, so I got another one. And I found the other one. So here's another book stamp. And this bottom shelf has the whole Left Behind series. This is based on the end times and the tribulation, but it has fictional characters in it. This really helped me understand Revelation a lot better. I highly recommend it. Seriously, if you're ever scared about Revelation and end times, this book really eased my mind about a lot of things and just helped me understand it a lot better. And then the last thing on the shelf, I just have, I don't really know why I have my playbills from the Fox Theater. I normally keep them on the other shelf, so I will move that actually. But I have a couple devotion books. That is my bookshelf. I'm excited to add a bunch of the books from my TBR cart to the bookshelf and of course just buy some more books. But I'm happy where it is. This is a good start to the collection. I didn't mention that the book stamp that I have, I stamp all of my books in the very beginning. The first page that's blank, I will put my stamp on there. So whenever I loan some books out, I should get them back because I have the stamp in them, and also it's just a way to personalize your books. The Bible verse for today is Lamentations 3:22-23. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. This verse is just so comforting to me. There are days that I don't love myself, I don't love my situation, but this reminds me the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. He loves me constantly. The blessings that he's given me are ever present in my life. I just need to open my eyes and be thankful for all that he's given me. And And I also like how it says his mercies are new every morning. We might have had a terrible day yesterday, but we can wake up knowing that we've been blessed beyond what we can measure, and we can wake up knowing that the Lord loves us, and this is a day with another opportunity to share the love of the Lord with others and to feel his presence and feel overcome with his joy. This is really just a very joyful verse. It's very happy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you got some ideas for your bookshelf. Maybe this was just something to play in the background, because honestly, I've been listening to YouTube videos and background things more recently. Like I'm editing a video or I'm getting ready, and it's just calming. I don't really understand, but it is calming. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day and be a blessing to others today. Bye, guys.